then that will
Alright.
help. Because the last one was a little bit pacey and it's quite hard for us to catch
Yeah,
up.
I will pick more.
Okay. So this is Storm then. So Storm, everyone hates Storm, don't we? Every Terran player hates Storm. Even Zerg player hates Storm. It's just so hard to deal with. So
In the beginning of the replay, Pulse just opens up with his 3 barracks play again, and it's just really safe build.
is it something
Let's
that we
do
just
it everything.
we just do normally against a Protoss player? Is that the most safest option to go for a free opening?
Yes, definitely. It's macro-wise really strong. You get your CC very early, and with your 3 barracks up really early too, you have enough units to deal with anything if you just scout it and react properly.
Okay, so again, similar scenario to our last game. Get the early Reaper, do a lot of scouting, get the early information, get the expansion done, and then get 3 racks basically ready to do some counter attack again. Is it the same thing as the last Blink play, or is it slightly different to this?
This one is slightly different. Classic opens up with a Stargate this game, and it forces a different reaction to Pull to get his add-on a bit quicker, and his factory is a bit more delayed, or he gets it later than in other games. But Classic doesn't go for any blink pressure. Like we see, he gets it now instead of after the factory. But Pult never scouted the Stargate or any tech, so he just prepares for the Oracle if it comes. If it doesn't come, he's fine too, because he's had just his units in place. But you should really have your units, like 6 Marines in each mineral line, to deal with an Oracle if you couldn't scout or haven't scouted your opponent, because if he does get 5 kills or 6 kills, you are severely behind.
Okay, so what sort of map would you normally see in an Oracle? I know I'm going slightly off here, but obviously Stargate opening is quite common, isn't it? Is it a bigger map normally seen in Oracle, or do you see it in a smaller map or a 4-player map? What sort of...
Well, Oracle, you can open up Oracle pretty much on every map, but it's especially really strong on a map like Habitation Station, because the distance by air is really small there.
Okay. So in later on of the training session, we're going to talk about a lot about map awareness as well. So there's something that guys do be mindful. We'll cover that sort of topics as well, of how we're going to prevent any proxies or any Stargate play or any tech play. So it'll be interesting. So okay, let's come back onto this bit here. So there's quite a big army in the middle then from Pope, isn't it?
Yeah, he really gets up to a high supply at a really quick time. His medeffects are a bit late this game, I have to admit, but that's just because of the game and the Oracle. So have like some mid-game or mid-map engagements. Don't really go well for Paul, but we see him later push up here in a bit and really goes for the aggression against Storm, but doesn't overcommit. That's one really big step, he doesn't overcommit. Here you see he attacks, he pulls out when the temps are getting a bit near. So he doesn't overcommit and tries to do as much damage as he safely can do. And he always tries to find openings just...
So in this scenario, basically against Storm, we just don't want to group up a big army and just attack face to face. We don't want any heads up engagement. Basically, we're trying
you can't really attack into Storm. You have to force an engagement when you are really ahead. You have a lot bigger army, because some storms really can change the game. Even if you have like 3 times the army, if you hit some really good storms, you're still dead. So I can pause here. He pre-splits his army. For if the Classic comes in, he already has a pre-split, so the storms wouldn't be as big as they would be if he clumps up.
So is it that sort of position that you want to place yourself to pre-split and waiting for the engagement? Like, is it quite an open area, or is it a higher ground area? What sort of area do we pick in a map to do that sort of pre-spit and waiting mode?
You could wait at best at the top of the ramp, like create like an arc. Oh, that's a bit lot of things, but create an arc on the ramp. Because he has to come up, he has only melee units, zealots, because all of his gas goes into his Templars. And the storms, he hasn't got high ground vision, so the storms will be really late, and you see the Templar moving up, so then you can split even better when you see them coming and stay out of the range of the storms.
Game resumed.
And I see Colt do here as well is send just a few units up, try to try to snipe a Templar, but doesn't overcommit. And your classic moves in. EMP goes down on almost all the Templar except the ones in the War Prison.
Right, so that's quite deadly, isn't it, for when the Protoss start building up with the storm and then you're not prepared for it. Whoop.
Yeah, if you don't see it coming, it's really deadly, because the best way you can fight Storm is actually with a lot of bunkers, because Storm doesn't hit units in bunkers or buildings.
Again, being really mobile and trying to engage everywhere in the map is key for a Terran player against Storm, isn't it?
Yeah, you really want to try and spread your opponent as thin as possible, because in the first stages he doesn't have a lot of units because he has been attacking so much into Storm. So if you can really spread your opponent, then you're going to have really good trades and get yourself into a really big advantage, or just even kill your opponent. Like we see Paul doing some drops here, moving out of the map there, scouting factory, which you don't want to do now, you just want to get Widow Mines. So that's a really big indicator, so I'm just gonna pause here. If you go Storm, you really want to go Widow Mines, because he doesn't have detection from the robotics, and Widow Mines with the recent buff do insane amounts of damage to Protoss units, because they have a buff against shields. So Archons are a big target for Widow Mines, Zealots are a big target, because Widow Mines can kind of act like a EMP, because they eat away all the shields almost.
Okay, so Widow Mine is a very good answer basically against this sort of build, isn't it? As a Protoss.
Okay. You can also really push with Widow Mines. If you don't push with Widow Mines, he can freely attack into you, but if you do have Widow Mines, he has to be really careful, because if he gets big Widow Mines hits on him, he's just gonna get wrecked.
Okay, so question times. Anyone have any questions against Storm? Any questions coming out? There's a little questions coming from Marine Shield. Say, Pope 4th is late. Sam also asking Polt come back from this game.
Yeah, Polt's win this game.
So Polt winning this game.
Yes.
Novatera also asked yes, no Storm, no Colossus. That's easy versus Toss. So do you see Colossus go against with Storm sort of this early style or not? Or is it quite common that it's going to be Storm and Archon and then Charge Zealot and...
Yeah. On two bases you have like a limited amount of gas income, so you can do Templar or Colossus. You can not do both, because it will be too late for the mid game push of the Terran, or you won't just have it out because you have too little gas. And I see a question.
There's a question from Sailor as well. If you have to pick one against this style, Mine or Ghost?
I would say Ghost. because they have you're going to be more comfortable because Widow Mines are a bit tricky. They can hit everything or they can hit nothing. With your EMP you can target better, so you can have some steadier results with Ghost and with Widow Mines.
Okay. Yep, Sam, just tell him it's so obvious this goes. And Sailor said, I'm a pro Stos, I'm just being curious.
Oh, you should be. You should be.
Okay, any other questions for seeing Storm? Oh, Marine Shield's asking about Cloak. Is it worth to rush it to get Cloak?
In the earlier stages I would say no, because you need every ghost that's possible, because you have limited amount of energy at that time. But once you're a bit more into the games, few minutes have passed, you should definitely get Cloak, because it's just a really useful upgrade. And if he doesn't have detection or you snipe the ops, it's like free damage, he can't see you and you deal just damage, because Ghost do sick damage against Zealots. And I see another question of NPC, I don't know who that is.
I think it's Marine Shield, I think NPC is.
Oh, Marine Shield. Excuse me. Do you need to drop to not fall behind, or can you sort of just keeping up with macro? If you have like good micro, you can definitely keep up, because if you push you can trade equally. But if you're a bit slippery on your control, you definitely want to do multi-prong attacks and drop play, because you're going to be doing some free damage.